Hey guys, Mattrick here with Mobility Monday. That's right, let's get mobile. Today we're going to talk about warm-ups. How are you warming up? Is it static? Is it dynamic? Is it just like this? No, it should be something more than just this, yes? When I warm up, even if I've just ridden my bike for 5 miles, I get to the gym and I do something that's going to actively move my body. Now when it comes to stretches, there are, well, I guess technically 3, but we're going to cover 2 types of stretches. There is static, and there is dynamic. A static stretch is this. I'm just going to hold it for like 20, 30 seconds. Is that wrong? Absolutely not. But in terms of warming up, we want that dynamic stretch, which is going to be, whoa, this. Do you see the difference? Static is held, and dynamic is moving while stretching. So when you're thinking of your warm-ups, and even the warm-ups we do for Palm Squad, we warm up by moving. Why? Because it increases oxygenated blood flow through the body, and it helps to actually loosen muscles and tendons and literally increase your body temperature. Oh my God, that sounds like the word warm up. It is. We're actually warming up the body. So when I think about my active warm-ups, and you can do this exact same warm-up before any of your workouts, I think about movement. So I always start with a simple forward fold. So I'm going to place my feet just about hip width. Look at that. Maybe you're hippier, maybe it's going to look like this. Maybe you like a more narrow stance. It's up to you. But the idea is that we're going to bring the arms up. As I drop the arms down, I'm going to slightly bend my knees and touch my toes. It goes like this from the side. Sometimes I'll do these things for a minute. Sometimes I'll just do it for like the first verse of a song, but just enough to help stretch out my backside. And that's really what I'm doing here. I'm stretching out my hamstrings, my glutes, my low back gets some action. I start to hinge at my pelvis. And anytime I start to move at my joints, I actually lubricate my joints. What? Lubrication? That sounds dirty. Well, it kind of is sometimes, but not in this scenario. This scenario, I'm speaking of lubrication in terms of movement in my joints and the increasing of synovial fluid. Ooh, that sounds like a big word. I learned it in school. So see, I moved out of my forward folds, and now I'm going to take about 30 seconds just circling my fingertips, like I'm drawing teeny circles in the sky. And I may not go the whole 30 seconds just for time's sake here. And I'm going to reverse the direction of these circles. See what's happening here? I'm moving around in that ball and socket joint of my shoulder. Do you know the ball is larger than the socket it fits into? Which gives us hypermobility in our shoulder joint, but also increases our risk of injury. Hey, let's make a tea. Why? Let's spill the tea. Oh my God, drag queens. And we're just going to circle the arms right here at T level. And again, I'm just warming up those shoulders. I'm actually increasing oxygenated blood flow to my rotator cuffs as I move them forward, reverse it, and I move it back and back. And even though this doesn't look like much, my arms are starting to burn, and I'm going to hang out here for like 10 more seconds. You can even walk your dog as long as you maintain a nice strong core posture. And then once I'm done circling my arms, I'm going to slap my shoulder blades. And now I'm just taking that active warm-up, right? I'm stretching out the front part of my pec. As I slap my arms to the front, I'm giving a little stretch in between my shoulder blades to rhomboids and middle traps. My shoulders get a little action, and I'm just loosening up my body. And now I'm going to bring my arms to the front. Ooh, claps. And I'm going to take that right arm, I'm going to drop back towards the wall behind me. And while I do that, I'm going to push, you see it? My left hip forward to maintain stability through the bottom part of my trunk and my torso. I'm still having a soft bend to my knees. I'm still remaining engaged in my abs. And right now, I'm moving myself in that transverse plane. The other thing I like to think about with warm-ups is I want to move in all the planes. I just don't want to warm myself up moving front to back or side to side or twisting. I want to hit all 3 of those planes. If you notice, we did that forward fold. Oh my gosh, it kind of brought me down to the front. I twist a little bit in the transverse here. I'm still in the transverse. Oh my God, I'm moving in that twisty plane, but also a little bit to my side. I'm hitting all my planes. And now when I'm done with my torso and my shoulders and reaching back, I'm going to center myself. And guess what? I'm going to raise my leg. What kind of joint is this? Ball and socket. Oh my God, it's just like the shoulder. It is. And the reason that being is that's just like the shoulder. My hips are also just as mobile and also just prone to what? Injury. And after I'm going to raise my legs to the front, or to the side rather, I'm going to raise them front to back now. Look, I just switched planes of motion. I was just moving in this side to side plane, and now I'm moving that front to back plane. And I'm going to give this leg a rest, give a little shake, and this leg goes up to the side. So if you noticed, we had that big forward fold, hamstrings, glutes, loosening up major muscle groups. I just warmed up my ball and socket joint up here. I'm warming up my ball and socket joint, on the low half. Sorry, I live in an old apartment with uneven floors. And now I'm going to move that ball and socket joint front to back here. There we go. Pull it together, Swayze. Front to back, front to back, front to back. Nice. Let's take this party down to the ground. So after I'm done warming up my joints, I usually take this party down to the floor, like I said, and I'm going to set myself up in a nice high plank. And I'm just going to gather my core muscles, yeah? If you watched my Teachable Tuesday, I talked about that transverse muscle that sits right here. So I'm going to draw my shoulders down, I'm going to squeeze my glutes, I'm going to squeeze my quads, I'm going to push down into the floor and raise out, and I'm just going to be here for 30 seconds just to be like, hey girl, what's up? What's going on, core? And it's going to say, hey Mattrick, I'm ready to move. I'm going to say, all right, well, let's take that same dynamic forward fold, but do it on the floor. Oh, it's an active down dog. Now the struggle here is that I'm wearing socks on a hardwood floor, so I still have to draw my feet inward as I push my heels down and my chest through my arms, keeping the knees as straight as possible. And the length and straightness of your legs and range of motion is going to be dictated by you and the flexibility in your hamstrings, glutes, low back, and mobility in your shoulders. So maybe your active down dog looks like this. You're like, I can't move as much as you, Mattrick, and guess what? That's still a correct answer. We are all blessed with different ranges of motion, and this just happens to be mine. So after I've done a few of those, I'm gonna be like, oh, let's take a break. And I'm come down to a quadruped position. Why quad? Because quad means 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna take a nice easy cat and cow. What? There's my cat. And there's my cow. I like to call it meow and moo. And right here, I'm pushing crown of my head, bottom part of my tailbone down to the floor as I round through my spine. I'm going to take that same bottom part of my tailbone and head and push it up to the skies. And really all I'm doing here is mobilizing my spine in that front to back plane, right? Oh, look again, another plane of motion. Take a couple more here. And when I'm done here, I'm going to reach under the couch. So I'm going to take this arm and what? Oh no, I dropped something under the couch. Oh, I got it. And you bring it back to center. And I'm going to go, oh, let's get the other side. I'm going to reach under the couch and I'm going to do what? Pull it back to center. Let's get that other side again. Reach under the couch. Pull it back to center. Other side, reach under the couch. Pull it back to center. And as you reach, think about pushing the back side of your arm, this part of your shoulder. You can let your head rest and reach those fingertips through. And I feel a greater stretch now through my lumbar vertebrae. And you just see what I was talking about is that first version, the cat and cow, was mobilizing my spine here. And now I'm mobilizing my spine side to side. And that's really what it's all about. Our spine is also, think of it as a joint. It houses your central nervous system. So you want all this stuff to be good and loose if you're going to be lifting, if you're going to be dancing, if you're just going to be jazzercising. All those things need to be loose and ready to move. So let's just do one more each side. Fantastic. And I'm going to return to that high plank position. I'm going to bring my right foot up next to my right hand. And I'm going to reach that right arm to the sky. This is called easy twist. Now I'm helping to warm up my hip flexors. I'm also loosening up the muscles on the back side of my pelvis. As I reach my arm up, I'm still mobilizing that spine, and I'm using this supported arm to help increase that twist up to the sky. And I come back to center. Leg goes back. This leg goes forward. I reach up again. Back to center. This leg goes back. This leg comes forward. I reach up again. Pull it back to center. I'm going to bring this leg back. I'm going to do one more on each side. This leg comes down, this leg goes back, last leg goes forward. Down. I'm going to tiptoe my feet in. I'm going to stand all the way tall. And now my warm-up is going to go out of that active stretching into more dynamic, increasing oxygenated blood flow, cardiovascular movements. This is one of my favorite things. Now let's say you don't want to bother with the arm circles or the twists or the doodads or any of that. You can do this next thing I'm going to do as part of your active warm-up. And sometimes I just put on 2 songs on my headphone and I just blast it out for 8 minutes. We will not be doing that now, but I just want you to know it's an option. So I'm going to bend my knees. That's just like a squat. I'm going to walk out to that plank. Knees bend as I walk my hands in. I stand all the way up. As you can see, I'm mobilizing my pelvis. I'm warming up my shoulders, my pecs, my lats. Everything gets some action here. And this up and down movement, you can even hear it in my voice, is making it a little bit harder for me to breathe. And that harder to breathe means that I'm breathing more, and I'm also pushing more oxygen around my body, which is going to feed my muscles. Oh my God, I keep talking about oxygen. Could it perhaps be the breath of life? Indeed it is. This next one, if you're looking for alternatives, you can take it down. You could rotate side to side, which is going to be a larger challenge for your core, but also provide a little bit more mobilization in your shoulders and back. You could walk it out and do a walking plank. I'm going to do that on the other side because, you know, it's good for the goose, good for the gander. Boom, boom, boom. You can even do these bending your knees walking out. What? That was a push-up. Nobody said we'd be working out today. Well, it's still mobile. You're going to eventually have to get off the floor once. Boom. And even if you want to challenge your balance, you can stand on one leg here, bend your knees, uh-oh, walk out, nail it, switch legs. Let's see if I can stick it. Boom. Now I'm a little bit more mobile. One last thing I'm going to do to make it extra mobile is the jumping jack. It's like the Chanel suits of exercises. You only ever need one, and it lasts forever. It's timeless. And the thing I love about jumping jacks is it's moving me into that side-to-side plane. You want to draw your fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. Pull down with your lats. I'm utilizing my inner and outer thighs, mobilizing those hips side to side. But you're like, Mattrick, this is too much. Oh my gosh. It's the Jazzy Lady. That's right. If you ever need to dial down your jack, take it to Jazzy Town. And you can hear it in my voice as well. I'm talking, but I'm also breathing. Again, that means I'm pushing oxygen around my body. I'm starting to break a sweat, which means I'm ready for bigger, badder, more dynamic movements. Hey, mobilization, it's a way of life and should be your way of life. Now, does that mean you can't static stretch? Absolutely, but save it till the end of your workout. This does not prepare your body to move. It does not enhance movement patterns in your brain. All it's doing is lengthening your muscle and pulling it back. Studies have shown that just static stretching actually decreases muscular output later on in your workout. So save the hold till the end. Save the movement for the beginning. Have a super Monday. Mattrick out.